conversation we had.
Which one? GOAT debate?
The GOAT debate. GOAT debate. Not the same era.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see where you stand on it, man. You tell me where you stand.
Yeah. Man, like I said, I'm big on it's GOATs of each era because the game evolution, it just changes each, 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
You look back 10, 15 years ago, it was big man dominated. It was a slower game. You had a lot of 82 to 78 type scores. You get those in the third quarter now.
Yeah.
You go back to the 80s and 90s, you had Michael Jordan win the championships. But besides Jordan, you had a lot of big men. You had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon. The game changes so much. And now, LeBron James, for the last 15 years, has stamped himself as that guy in this era. You can say there was a, in between area where some people say Kobe Bryant, but I'm a Tim Duncan guy too. I think
we never mentioned Tim. We always forget about Tim. Tim was doing his thing when Kobe was out.
Yep.
When Shaq was out.
Yep.
Tim, he was doing his thing when there was some real heavy contenders going at it.
And you talk about keeping people from winning championships. Tim Duncan kept the Suns down more than anybody. And if you were watching sports in the early 2000s, Steve Nash, Stoudemire, Sean Marion, that offense was Golden State before Golden State.
That was faster. That offense was faster.
I mean, Marion grabs the rebound, he's going 94 feet. Nash get the rebound, everybody needs to be looking back.
Everybody's going 90 feet. Yeah, everybody was going 90 feet on that.
Exactly, and that team was ahead of its time, but the Spurs, that was the kryptonite. Tim Duncan, that defense. Tim Duncan doesn't get his credit for that.
Sort of the most winning teams of that era. They never get credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe from like 1997, 1998, Popovich didn't have a losing season until this year. They made the playoffs every single. This is the first year he's been in the lottery since they drafted Tim Duncan. That's wild. Like that's Patriots. That's the Patriots of the NBA.
Man.
So Timmy D doesn't get his credit, and Jordan is Jordan. You can't have a GOAT conversation without mentioning the name Michael Jordan.
What do you give your take? Because I personally see it's things you have to throw in there. Social media. You have to throw social media.
Right.
Especially when you look at
that's added
players.
pressure.
The players coming in now they're big on social media before they even get to the game. You know what I'm saying? Overseas and. So man, I think they don't factor in just how good he's been through a social media era, and not we really don't have any off the court scandals.
Yeah. I mean, and that's wild because you talk about like I know Jordan used to go to the casino at the games and stuff like that. LeBron can't do that. I mean, it's cameras everywhere. These dudes. A lot of time when you see NBA players out in public, I know a lot of the guys in Memphis do it. A lot of the guys in Philly, you see Ben Simmons, you see Joel Embiid. They got on these big hoodies, covering all the way, not even just covering to the top of their head. They're coming down to about the eyebrows. Man, like they really trying to obscure themselves from the public eye as much as they can because anytime someone sees them, a camera phone is popping out. Oh, is that Joel Embiid? Joel Embiid, let me ask you this, man.
Cameras behind cameras.
Exactly, and sometimes you don't even think a camera is looking at you. A guy across the street, say, is that Joel Embiid over there?
Zoom in
on him. You have no clue. So it's no privacy, now, and they have to be so just cautious of what they post and what they say. And you think back to the early days of Twitter, like 2008 to 2010. Those guys were active. Like I was reading tweets like Russell Westbrook was on there. Just woke up this morning, about to go do this and that. They don't tweet like that no more. Now it's ads and maybe a workout video here and there, or paying their respects to somebody in some type of way. That's it. Like, and of course, they speak out on a lot of social issues and things like that. But you don't get anything else. But when you talk about that GOAT debate. My overall answer would be LeBron James.
Yeah.
That's my overall answer. Like I said, when you consider every little nuance, you want a winner, you want all-around player, you want a guy who does, takes care of business off the court as well as on the court. I mean, he has all of those things wrapped into one. And I think LeBron is one of the biggest winners we've ever seen. which is, you don't get that from a lot of people because he's 4-6 in the finals.
But it's the consistency of being there in the
He
finals.
gets there, and that doesn't get enough credit.
No, it doesn't.
People take that out of the conversation because he loses, and it almost makes it seem like, oh, what if he would have just went 4-0 those other 4 years that he won the championship and just not made it the other 6 years? Then what would be the conversation? Would it be, oh, LeBron's 4-0, all he has to do is win 2 more to catch Jordan?
Why is it less great to be a staple in the playoffs than it is to just win a random ring? You know what I'm saying? Every so many years.
That's the problem with that GOAT conversation to me, because, like I said, I got the most respect for Michael Jordan, for what he did for the game and everything. But Michael Jordan, it took him a while. It took him a while.
He was a first round loser for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, some great teams that he couldn't get past. But LeBron was 22 and he beat the Detroit Pistons. That Pistons team went to, I believe it was 7 straight Eastern Conference Finals. Richard Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Rasheed, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun. Man, they lock you down for 4 quarters and just grind you out of the game. And they were in the Eastern Conference Finals every year. And LeBron was 22 years old, 3rd, 4th year in the league, 2007, going against this team that nobody could get past and beat them. Like, he doesn't get enough credit for that team. We talk about how Jordan got past the bad boys. We don't talk enough how.
We don't talk about Bron's side.
Yeah, when they used to call that team Bad Boys 2.0, things like that.
Yeah.
That team was tough, and that was, that was a big moment for LeBron. And to me, that showed me that LeBron could get there. Now, what happened after that, with the Celtics and the Magic beating them and things like that, that's when you talk about the game, and that's when the game started to change more. And he couldn't, he needed more help. Like, basketball is now, it's just, you need stars around you. You need them, because those Celtics teams, they had, they went out and got the big 3. And to me, it really was a big 4, because Rondo was the guy they drafted, and he turned into a star, overnight. So you had those guys. And then you talk about the Orlando Magic team. LeBron probably should have won that one. Like, that's the one he probably should have won. When you talk about how the game just changed and just, was different. That was one of the first teams in NBA history. They had a big man inside, Dwight Howard, and they put 4 shooters around him. A lot of people weren't doing that up until that point. They had Rashard Lewis, Beatrice, forget the shooting guard on that team. They had Jameer Nelson. They had a lot of shooters. I believe they had J.J. Redick too, but they had a lot of shooters.
That's the team they took and hit Kobe in the finals.
Exactly.
And that's what got him devastated. Kobe was coming down low, ripping Dwight. I watched that. It was real simple. Yeah. Kept pulling the ball low, kept smacking the ball out.
Exactly.
Real simple, man. Yeah. Real simple.
Yeah, man. So LeBron doesn't get, all the credit because, like you said, with social media, I think that's part of the reason. Social media, all it is scrutiny, more so than paying respects. These days we don't pay people respects until, something happens almost.
They pull up your old tweets.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of those guys tweeted like regular people. They came now.
Before the crossover.
Exactly.
Once you cross over.
Exactly, man. So I think that GOAT debate, it's Jordan, it's LeBron. I like Kareem a lot too. I like Hakeem. A lot.
Man, it's not just a two-person argument. Yeah, and that's where we lose it at.
That's where we lose it.
Not just a two-person argument.
Yeah, because then you got the whole greatest Laker thing with Magic and Kobe. And
now LeBron.
And now LeBron's entering that conversation. So, man, I think LeBron winning championships for 3 franchises, no matter how you do it, like, that's different. We probably never see that again, the way he did it. I know, Robert Horry won with the Rockets and the Spurs and the Lakers.
He wasn't the staple.
He wasn't the main guy. LeBron was the main guy on each one of those teams. And the biggest argument point that you can have for LeBron James, the only player that I think you can counter this with is Kareem. It's the level of consistency all the way through. You can say LeBron has been the best player for 15 years now. You can make that argument. Now, some people will say it's closer to 10, after Kobe won that 2nd championship, then it was like, that was the past. But some people will tell you, it was a real Kobe versus LeBron team.
He first came in.
Yeah. So
came in there.
You can make an argument since like 2007 when he got to the finals at 22. He's been the best player all the way through. I don't think you can make that argument for anybody else.